today. I hope that I'm loud enough. I might need to put down that window, put that window up so I can hear. I hope that I'm loud enough and the air isn't too much. But baby, I just came from the gym. But anyway, howdy, hey, how you doing, man? How you doing? You doing good? You good? You straight? You sure? All right now. So today is a very wonderful day, just like all of them are. The day is a gift. Use it as you should. But man, a lot has been going on. Like, I feel like, and I've said this before, but I will say it again. I feel like I was meant to come back here to deal with all the issues and the reasons why I became a people pleaser. This is the place that started me to people please. Right here, right where I'm from. I started it. And I didn't stop. Like every now and again I would get you know, the balls to just be like, no, I'm gonna do this my way. But for the most part, man, I was doing shit everybody else's way but my own. And I'm just now realizing, especially coming from a situation that happened last night. I'm gonna talk about it. Situation that happened last night. Um, you know, family, helping family out. I have no problem with doing that. And here's my thing. I've been away from family for a long time. I've been isolated. And that's on purpose. I've been doing that shit. And it's been a lonely life, but at the same time, it's been peaceful. And I'm starting to understand that now, how peaceful it was. And it's not the fact that I don't love my family, I don't care about my family, I don't want to help my family, I don't want to be near my family. It ain't none of that. It's just if you don't reciprocate the same energy that I reciprocate, then what is the point of us really talking to each other, communicating with each other, kikiing with each other a whole lot? And I see that it's like almost like some people feel like, well, you're still not really doing anything, you're still not really talking to nobody. So, but that's me. Now if you come around, I'm gonna talk to you, I'm gonna have a conversation with you as much as I would like to, but you can't force me to talk to you, you can't force me to hang with you. Nobody's doing that. Trust and believe, nobody's doing that. But I just totally understand why I like to be by myself and why I appreciate my peace. And I see how things could turn into a situation where I'm being used because I'm such a quiet person, because I'm such a nice person, because I'm such a giving person, because I have been away for so long. I see how I can be used, and I don't like that feeling. And I see how I'm going to have to set boundaries. And I'm actually excited about setting those boundaries because I don't give a shit. Okay? I don't give a shit who is no longer in my life because of the boundaries that I set. What that proves to me is it proves to me that you didn't need to be in my life in the first place. And we didn't need to share space in the first place. And my boundaries triggered you in a way that made you eliminate yourself. So, baby, if you're going to eliminate yourself, then do you. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But, yeah, that situation happened. And that's pretty much as much as I want to talk about it because, again, I respect my family. I care about my family. I love my family. I'm not trying to do what a lot of people be out here doing for clicks and views, trying to talk about my family and down my people for drama. Everybody got drama in their life, but shit, you got to figure that shit out. You really just got to figure that shit out. Oh, the sun is beaming. It's beaming. But outside of that, I am ecstatic. Let's talk about some great shit. I am ecstatic about moving. It is about goddamn time. And also yesterday made me realize how important it is. Who the hell put their hand on my glass? Oh no, it looked like my kid hand. Like she smacked something on the okay. Anywho, I definitely felt like last night was like it really let me know that it's time for me to have my own place and let me know that my dad's house is the kicking spot because like baby, last night was a doozy. Like I said, I love my family. I love my family, but woo, sometimes you just be wanting to get away from everybody. You just be wanting your space. And I did a good deed. So my dad had been getting up. He has been wanting to go fishing for the longest. And he actually just went fishing yesterday. He may also go fishing today because today is Father's Day. So he may go fishing today. But all the days prior to this, he's been doing work. He's been working in his yard. He's been working on other people's stuff. He's been just doing a lot of work. And there were, was it 2 days? I want to say it was 2 days, 2 days specifically, where my dad had got up and he got up early. He put clothes on and everything. Um, and one of the days I know for sure that he had an appointment, but there was one day he didn't. Even the day that he had his appointment, he came back to the house, he got dressed, and he left, and he was gone. And I was like, okay, that's nothing new to me because my dad does that. My dad just gets up and go. He ain't got to worry about nothing. He can do that. But I was just like, okay, he's just getting up and he's leaving, and then he'd be gone all day, and then he would come back later, and it's like, okay, obviously you're working on something. I don't know who you're helping. I don't know what you're doing for whatever person, but you working hard. And it was 2 days like that. It was the day that he had his appointment. He had his appointment at like, I think like maybe 7:30 that morning, or maybe I think it was 7:30 that morning. He had an appointment, and then he came back, and then he went straight to go work. And then there was another day where he got up really early. I saw him. He got up super early, and he was just gone all fucking day. And I knew he was working. I just didn't know where he was at. And I was like, damn. And then he come back, and he's just so tired and just worn down and everything. And I was just like, what is he doing? So come to find out. Before I get into that, let me, because it's good, and I don't want to cry. So we have been talking, I think some kind of conversation led to us talking about liver and onions. My dad eats liver and onions. I've never in my life ate liver and onions. I don't choose to eat liver and onions either. I don't really care what my family chooses to eat. They choose to eat whatever they want. I'm country. I got country family. So we eat all kind of shit. But I'm not a liver and onions girl. Okay? That's just And he was like, I'm going to get me some liver. Y'all done talked about it, and I'm going to get me some liver and onions today. And I know exactly where to go. That sounds real good. I ain't had that in a long time. So I'm thinking that, what is that? It's a little dog. Yeah, girl. So I'm thinking that he is about to go to some place because he done named off this place that he wanted to go to that got the best liver and onions. I'm thinking he about to go there, and this was breakfast time, and go get him a plate. Like they cooking it, or they cook it all the time. He's gonna go get him a plate. He was working this day. This was a day that one of the days he was working. And he left the house. He was gone most of the day. He came back. He had his liver and onions. Now he had it uncooked. It was raw. And I was like, okay. And I said, well, that's good. He was like, yeah, this don't take long. He was explaining everything to me. He's like, yeah, I ain't had this in a minute. I'm gonna enjoy this meal here. And I was like, okay, cool. And he went back out the door. Like he put it in the refrigerator, and he went back out the door. And when I looked and I was watching, he was working still. He was still working. And I was just like, okay, you've been gone all day pretty much. It's damn near, it was like, I want to say like 5. I think it was like 5. And you put your food down. It's not even food that's already prepared. So that means you got to come back home and cook it. You got to come back after you finish doing everything that you're doing. You got to come back and you got to come inside and cook, take your bath and all this stuff like that, right? He comes in after he put his food in the refrigerator. After he put his stuff in the refrigerator, he sat down and he was talking to me for a minute before he went outside. And he was explaining to me how he had been over at the apartment that me and my girls are getting ready to move into. Let me change this, move that up. He had been over to the apartment for the last 2 days, cleaning up. There was wasp nests, big ass wasp nests all around the roof of the house. Things that were by wasp nests and meters. Um, he sprayed them all. He knocked them all down. He took care of the yard. He power washed the area, the I guess the little piece of where I would be parking. He power washed it. He power washed the steps. He power washed the property. And this is not stuff that my dad has to do. Like, I'm moving into this place at the end of the month, and this is not stuff that my dad has to do. This is something that he's choosing to do because of the help that I've given him. Oh, I'm not gonna cry, y'all. I'm not gonna cry. Whoo! And this goes back to, I remember I made a video just recently where I talked about if my parents wanted to have kids, right? And I still feel the same way that I feel. Ooh, 111. I still feel the same way that I feel. I don't feel like they necessarily wanted kids. Well, let's just talk about my dad. I don't feel like my dad necessarily wanted children, but I feel like because he made the children, he was going to take care of his responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, my dad shows his appreciation. He doesn't like to say, I apologize, I'm sorry, whatever. He will say thank you if you help him. But he shows his appreciation for you by doing shit for you. And you got to pay attention to his love language. You really got to pay attention to it. And as much as in the beginning he didn't want us to move over there because it was trashy looking, this is what came up for a second time. And I was like, I got to take it because I tried something else and it didn't work. And now this is coming back up. I got to take it. I got to get my independence back. And this, if it's coming up again, that means it's probably for me to do it. And he was like, you know, he pretty much made himself okay with the idea. And he was like, okay, if my daughter and my grandbabies is going to be over there, I'm going to take care of this property. I'm going to at least fix it. And he came home and he was just talking about how he was just cleaning up around the area, doing different stuff, and just making it look nice. He said, I'm going to make yours look so nice to the point where everybody else around there going to be like, well, we need to tighten up. We need to get this shit looking good. I'm going to make everybody jealous of where you stay at. And my dad's not even 5 minutes from where I live at. Not probably 3. Shit, he not that far. And I remember my dad telling me before, when I lived further away, he was like, I can help you a whole lot, but you got to be closer to me. And now it makes a lot of sense because my dad is he's older. He's much older. He's 59. But he has a lot of different things going on with his body. His body is just going through a lot. And he hurts a lot. He's had surgery in his back and got screws and all kind of stuff. And he goes through a lot on a daily basis. He just works through that pain. And I do the same shit. But I was so impressed with my dad and his generosity of him doing that for me and my girls, because he ain't got to do it. He knows the landlord. He knows the lady that owns the apartment, so she let him get the key to like look inside and see if I need to clean up anything inside. They go way back. He knew her dad or something like that when he owned the property, because my dad, funny story, won't get into it, but my dad, the place where I'm moving to, my dad used to live in the same area. The apartment that my brother lives in was the one that my dad used to live in when my brothers were little bitty. I remember being in that apartment when I was younger. But I'm just moving right over there. And he was just like, no, I'm finna clean this up. I'm finna hook this up for y'all. And I just was so taken aback by this situation that I was like, I need to do something for my dad. It's now 2 days that my dad has been out here, and I didn't know what he was doing. I thought he always doing something for somebody else. So, of course, me being the person that I am, I just assumed that he was doing some work for somebody else outside of the house. And look, my dad gone now. He gone right now. His other truck I just put up to the house, my dad is gone right now. But again, I just assumed that he was doing something for somebody else, and to find out that he was doing something for me and my girls, I was just like, wow. Like, fucking wow. So I took it upon myself. To, I ain't never had liver and onions before. I had never seen liver and onions before. I ain't never touched it. I ain't never ate it. And I damn for sure ain't never cooked it. But I said, you know what? my dad is still out there in these streets doing stuff, I'm going to get my ass up and I'm going to cook this liver and onions, because what I don't want is for him to have to come inside this house after he done been working all day, take a shower, and he ain't got nothing to eat. He got to get in here, and now he still got to cook himself something to eat. And I know he'll do it. I know he would. But this is the way that I can show my appreciation to him, show him that I see what he's doing. You ain't got to necessarily say, oh, I saw what you did, so I did this for you type of shit. You ain't got to do that. You see something going on, and you just go ahead and do. And I saw what he did, and I was like, I'm going to do something. Baby, I cooked my daddy them living onions. I went straight to the YouTube University that day, and within 15 minutes, I knew how to cook some damn living onions. Now, the only thing I was worried about was I was like, I hope it ain't salty. I hope I do it right. I hope it tastes good. And thank goodness he came in the house when he did. Because after I had put it in the pot to let it do that little simmering thing or whatever, get that gravy all good and juicy and stuff, I didn't know how long that was supposed to sit. But come to find out, you can overcook it and it can get real tough. But when he came in the house and saw me doing it, I said, don't beat me up. I said, I'm cooking your liver and onions for you. And he said, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. I said, now, mind you, I didn't tell him I never done it before. Nothing like that. But I assumed, I just kind of like just took on this role of like, this is how he wants it. This is how he's going to want it. And I cooked it for him. And I didn't even get to see how he reacted when he ate it the first time. But when he opened that pie, he said, girl, that look good. That looked just like how that. He said, you doing a damn good job. That look good. He said, how long it been on? I told him. He said, all right, give it about 5 more minutes and shut it off. I said, all right, cool. So I'm glad you told me, because I didn't know. I would have let that bitch sit and just simmer. He come the next day, come yesterday. He ate his liver and onions. Did he leave? Did he take the boat? Is he fishing? Baby, I think my daddy is gone fishing. I think my dad is gone fishing. That's what he wanted to do. And I think he left today and went by himself. That's what the fuck he wanted to do. And I'm happy. If he went, I'm happy he went. But I got to see him eat it yesterday. I got to see him enjoy it yesterday. And I asked him, I said, well, did you try it yet? He said, woo. He said, that's all I've been talking about on that. But even when my brothers came in, because he went fishing with my brothers yesterday, they took him fishing as a gift. My brother was like, man, the way daddy was out there talking about them liver and onions, man, I don't know. Now, mind you, he had the liver and onions. I had a meal that I was cooking for me and my kids. My brother had took out pork chops, and I figured when they got back, he was gonna cook his pork chops. I had steak and potatoes for me and the girls. But I didn't have a lot of it. I only had like 3 steaks, and it's 2 grown ass men in this house. So I was like, damn, what can I do? So I took the steak. I was like, just in case somebody else, they come in, they want to eat some. I ain't got a lot, but this is what I can afford, and what I can do to try to stretch is I'm going to take these steaks, I'm going to cut them off the bone, I'm going to strip them bitches up, I'm going to make strips, and I'm just going to cook it, and it's just going to be cut up steak and potatoes. And I ended up getting my nephews last night to watch them until my brother came back or whatever, and found out that they didn't eat. So I was like, well, fuck it, let me throw these red beans on. So I found some smoked meat that my dad had been, had in the freezer. I put that on. I put the red beans on. I cooked rest. So by the time they got back to the house, they had the liver onions was in there already cooked that my dad was gonna eat. I think he assumed that I hadn't cooked anything, or that I wasn't gonna cook, or that it wasn't gonna be enough. So he was taking whatever he found in the fridge when he first got back, leftover wise, and he was trying to throw stuff. My dad will make a gravy out of anything, baby. He had took some chicken that he had smoked about 4 or 5 days ago, and he was throwing that in the pot, putting it on water and boiling it. He was about to make him a gravy child. He was gonna eat him something. But when they came in, like, everything was done. The rice had just got finished. The cornbread had just got finished. The beans, I had just cut the beans off and everything. My food was already done. I just hadn't ate. My steak and stuff was done. I just hadn't ate nothing yet. He had the living onions in the fridge. My brother, if he wanted them pork chops. But I mean, I had enough food there for everybody to come in, 3 grown-ass men, to come in and eat. And still was enough for all the kids to eat. I was the only one that ate my steak and potatoes. My daughter ate some of the steak earlier that day. Or just when I had finished cooking it, she had ate some. My oldest, she had ate some. But then she went and got some beans because she wanted beans and rice and cornbread. All the babies ate beans and rice and cornbread. All the men ate beans and rice and cornbread. My other brother came in, and I guess he seen the pot, so he was like, "Man, I have no idea what I'm gonna cook." I said, "Go on in there and get your plate. Go on in and get you something to eat. I got some beans, some rice, some cornbread. Go on in and get you something to eat." I just felt so good that I was able to do that and take care of everybody. But I ain't realized my shadows. But I also just felt good that I was able to do that for my dad. Not even about no Father's Day shit, no birthday shit, none of that. Just about being a good person to somebody and seeing, oh, look at the little bird. Oh, oh, oh my God. You caught it. You caught it. Oh my goodness, I ain't never seen that before. The little bird was flying right here and it was trying to catch a little moth or something. And baby, it flew, there go my daddy. And it flew around and caught the little moth and everything. But child, I'm gonna get off of here because my dad just pulled up. But yes, it was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful time. I'm gonna finish this another time. Um, I'm gonna finish this another time. But yes, it was beautiful, 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 beautiful. Just be there for your people when you need to be there for your people. That's all I want to say.